Hey everyone, how you doing today? I want to talk to you guys about the elements of a pay per lead campaign. I mean, I'm talking here towards the more advanced people, the people that have already got a client, who are already running traffic, who are already getting leads, and are perhaps getting to the point where they want to really scale and get very good in a vertical, or they're kind of struggling a little bit to make really good margin, and they're kind of running around like a headless chicken because they're not sure what's working and what isn't working. Okay, and we've been doing this for a while in our own agency, and what we do now is we break our campaigns, or our vertical, I guess, once we've landed that client, once we're getting leads, down into different elements. Okay, and what I mean by that is, we look at, a typical funnel for us will have the ad networks, and then the targeting, and then the creative, i.e. the ads, and then the landing page, and then the results page, because we run usually survey type funnels, or sometimes we have advertorials in there, but we'll just talk about survey funnels at the moment. So then we have a results page, and then the thank you page. Okay, so if we go over here to the ad network, you might be running Facebook here, okay, but you might want to start thinking about running YouTube. You might want to start running about Twitter. You might want to start thinking about the Google Display Network. You might want to try Taboola, okay? So if you are thinking about making the move, then it's probably unwise to worry about all this other stuff while you're dialing this in. Okay, so for me, if I'm going to my account managers, I'm like, guys, let's just focus on figuring out how to make one of these other things work and leave all of the other elements alone for the time being, because you want them to just have single focus to get really good at one thing. Okay, so you might say YouTube's that one thing. Okay, let's spend the next 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, or whatever that is, trying to get this dialed in to help get really good at that one thing. Okay, because if you do that well and you just focus on that one thing, you're going to get very good at it. Okay, the next thing might be targeting. Okay, so let's say you're doing YouTube and you're getting really good at YouTube, and you know that that's the one that you want to do. Then let's look at the targeting. So what different types of targeting do you want to go with? What is the best demographics? Demos, the best custom intent type audiences, or there's affinity audiences, or do you want to test going after a broad audience? Or do you want to go, there's so many different options in market. Keywords, topic, all of these different types of targeting options available to you. Now you've kind of made a decision on the ad network. What is the best targeting options to go after? Okay, how do you're starting to get leads in now, and maybe you can start pulling through some data from the targeting through to the actual lead. So then this is the kind of level you need to go into. So let's say your in-market's getting really cheap leads. Let's say your in-market audience is getting really cheap leads for you. Can you pull that in-market audience all the way through to the thank you page, or even to the client CRM, so you can tell whether that audience down here is getting you really good leads? All right, that's the kind of level you need to go into to get really good when you are just focusing on that one element, that targeting element. All right, does that make sense? Okay, the next thing is the creative. All right, so now you've nailed the ad network, you've got the best targeting happening, you've got the best audiences, which generates the best quality leads. The next thing you want to do is look at the creative. Okay, so spend that 2 to 3 week period mastering that element. All right, figure out some new opening hooks. Usually when we run YouTube ads, you're looking at true view ads, the non-skippable 5-second true view ads that run before the actual video starts playing. That 5 seconds is critical. Why don't you get a Fiverr actor and try and create 10 different opening hooks for your offer that you haven't tested before? Why don't you try 3 or 4 different types of actors You might want to try different accents, different color people, like all different types of stuff, which is going to help differentiate between the different types of creatives that you might have, okay? So that's going to take a while to get all of that done. But if you're trying to do all of this at the one, all of this at the one time, you're not going to focus on anything. And when you don't have singular focus, you struggle. So that would be, 10 times different vids. You want to have different scripts. You might want to try, our videographer Ari, who's videoing us right now, has tested lots of different types of pop-ups and arrows and call to actions at different stages, of the videos, or B-roll footage, all of that type of stuff is going to really help you, okay? And the thing is, I'm quite lucky because I have a team, and sometimes I can have a team doing that bit here and a team doing that bit here, but most people that are getting really good at pay per lead don't have the luxury of being able to focus on one or more thing at a time. So if you are, let's say you're doing really well in solar, or you're doing really well in roofing, or debt consolidation, or personal injury, or whatever that is, then just break things down into the small elements and get periodically better. It might be painful for a little bit, might be painful for a few weeks, but you can bet your bottom dollar that if you work through it slowly and systematically, you're going to do well. And these lead buyers aren't going to go anywhere, okay? They might drop off, and then, once you can prove that things have gotten a lot better and the quality's got a lot better, they're going to come back and give you another chance, I guarantee it. So take your time, slow down, and master what you're doing, all right? The next thing could be the landing page, and this is huge. This could slash your cost per lead in half. So we use Unbounce to split test. Okay, so that gives us a really good idea of what's working and what isn't working. What about load speed times? Load speed. What about installing Hotjar on this page so you can see what people are doing? What else? If you're starting to get real results and you know what headlines and what's working for you, then you want to code the page to HTML, so it goes super fast. You want to score 100 out of 100 on your Google Tag what do they call it, GT metrics. There's probably 15 things here that you need to check and get good before you can move on to the next element, which would be the results page. So a lot of our funnels are going through and they're telling people to take some kind of a survey to see if they're a good fit or they qualify or whatever, okay? So once they qualify, what messaging is it that gets them to become a lead? How do you, a lot of people forget about this. They work all the way through down to here, and then they've got a terrible transition from results through to landing page. So you might knock 50%, 25% off your cost per lead here, and you could knock another 25% off here. And not many people focus on this. So work on that transition. Less fields. Your clients saying that the quality, the contact rates aren't good enough. Ask for 2 numbers on that page, or ask for a checkbox that say they're going to get a phone call. To get phone call. I'm just talking here off the top of my head, but every single element here has dozens of things that you can absolutely master. And this is stuff that's impossible to reverse engineer as well. Remember that. Not many people can go to this extent when they are, perfecting their offer. All right, and then the thank you page. And how fast is this loading as well? Load times. You want to look at segmentation. So people that come through this quiz, this survey funnel, and they're looking for help, 80% of them might be a good fit. The other 20% you don't want to be sending to the client. You want to segment them and take them to a different results page and therefore a different client. All of this stuff, segmentation's another big one. Okay, and then the thank you page. Have you put a video on that thank you page? Have you pulled through a unique code? So say for example, whenever, if you think you go to a big company and you put in an inquiry, guess what happens? You usually get email or text a number which gives you a unique reference code to call. So when they call in, you can quote that reference number. You should be trying something like that in order to help you look really professional, which you are, right? Especially when you get to this level. You're looking at what the next steps are. Is it clear? Can you can you personalize the thank you page to match the client you're sending the lead to? This whole thing, it's only one simple thank you page, all right? But how many people have thought about it to this level? Very few, all right? So I'm probably rambled a little bit longer than I thought here, but I could go on for much longer, because every single one of these elements that we have within our agency is being drilled down and tested to the nth degree. And if they're not, then they will be in the coming months, because that's my team's job, all right? And I can tell you, if you have got staff as well, they will enjoy having this type of direction rather than just being told to fix the entire funnel and reduce your cost per lead or increase the quality, because they don't know. Someone needs to give them direction, and this is the best way to do it. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're interested in pay per lead and you want to kind of get into this level of detail, then you can book a call with our team below this link, and we'll see if we can help you out. Speak soon.